Welcome to Make Your Mark podcast, where guests share their experiences, insights, and tactics to help you accelerate your business. So building, scaling, and monetizing your business is made easier. And I will be your host, Kay Suthar. Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Make Your Mark podcast. And oh boy, I am super excited for this episode because we have yet another amazing guest coming on the show. Now, she's done so much in her business, right? And she started from scratch. And I don't want to give too much away because I'm going to have Lisa Johnson introduce herself and let you know how she started, what she does, and how she helps her clients all over the world. Just got to tell you, she's an amazing human being. Oh my goodness, Lisa, thank you for coming onto this show.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Me too. You have no idea. There's so many things I want to ask you, right? But I got to start from the beginning, right? Okay. Your story on how you started business, right? Because you wasn't given a business. It was inherited. You weren't given millions of pounds to start a business, like most of us. And you started from scratch. I would love for you to share your story with everyone about what that all looked like and how you started from the very beginning.
Yeah, well, it wasn't even from scratch. It was from £30,000 in debt. I started.
Oh,
yeah, I kind of grew up in poverty and then, worked my way up a corporate ladder. Didn't do any kind of qualifications or GCSEs or anything like that because I hated school. And so I eventually ended up in the city, like a lot of us do. I was doing quite well. I was working as an analyst, in an investment bank. And then I got pregnant with twins. And so I had to leave because I just went back to work at 5 months old and I never saw them. Like I went in at 6 o'clock in the morning, came home at 10 o'clock at night. And so I decided I needed another way. I was a single parent at the time. And so I moved to a job, kind of went back 15 years and moved to a job where I was paid $20,000 a year. There was a personal assistant, admin assistant type of job, but I got to see the kids. It was just a 9-to-5 job. And while I was there, I got bored and thought, you know what, I'm going to start a business, but I didn't know anything about business at all. So
where did the idea come from? Want to start a business? How?
I knew that I needed to make more money. And I'd been watching people on the internet that had businesses, especially on YouTube and things like that. And I was like, maybe I could do something, but I didn't really know how. And where I come from, I grew up in council housing. Nobody really has a business. People do menial jobs. They don't really go past a certain level of income. And so I didn't know anyone that was an entrepreneur or had a business.
Well, where did that mindset for you come from then?
I don't really know. But when I look back to when I was a kid, I was bullied really badly as a kid for being poor. And when I look back, my escape was to sell things. So I used to go and knock on doors and say, do you want your car washed? I was like an Avon lady at 13 years old.
That's awesome.
I think it was always in me, but I didn't know that because I didn't know what to do with that until, I'm here at 36 years old and suddenly needing to make money. So I started this business and I was a wedding planner and I did get weddings. I did okay, but because I didn't know anything about business, it ended up that after the first year, I had to look at how much I was earning and I was earning £1.15 an hour. And so it was like, oh, okay, I don't know what I'm doing. I had a new boyfriend at the time. And he was like, you're never going to be able to leave your job on that. You need to have a look at, understand business if you're going to do this. And so I had a choice to make. And that choice was to either learn everything I possibly could about business for free because I was 30 grand in debt, or to just realize that, you know what, my family's been in generational debt for generations. It's just going to continue on. I'll live hand to mouth. I'll always be in debt. Maybe I can just do that. But I had these kids and I was like, wouldn't it be nice if I could break the poverty cycle so that they don't have the same thing? And so I decided to learn everything about business. So I went to every free webinar that you can imagine. I read every book from the library on self-development.
Wow.
And I just got into it. And within, I think it was about 8 months, I turned the wedding planning business around to be more profitable than the job. And so I was able to leave the job. And then I did that for a couple of years.
Oh.
Yeah, it just worked.
Okay. Like, all right, you was in 30 grand debt, right? First of all, how did you get into that debt and how did you come out of it? Is my first question.
I got into it through divorce, mainly, as so many of us do, and just from trying to then live as a single parent for a while. Right. I still wasn't out of it. So when the wedding planning business started making, 60,000 a year, I used that to live. I paid off a tiny bit of it, but I wasn't able to pay off very much because I was already living in debt. So I used it to live for a while, about a year and a half, and then started paying off the debt. Now, after 2 years, people started just coming to me and asking me, how have you made this business successful? And I was like, well, I just read all these books and I started telling people what I'd learned for free. Like, try this, this, and this. Like, have a marketing plan. Let's work out your ideal client. Let's work on your money mindset. They'd go away and then they'd come back and go, I've just tripled my revenue because of the things you told me. And I was like, oh, wow, I'm good at this. And I realized that actually I have a bit of a gift for turning complicated business things, jargon, into just easy, do this, this, and this, step by step, and then it will work. And then I realized 7 years ago yesterday that actually what I could do is just not do this business, which is taking me away from my kids every weekend and my new, by then, husband. And instead what I could do is start a new business, Lisa Johnson Strategy, and help people start up these new businesses and grow their businesses and triple their revenue. And so I started. And this time it was like unbelievable. Everything went right. So the first 6 months, I made 100,000 in profit. Whoa. I know. And it was more money than I'd ever seen like in my life from where I come from.
What was going through your mind at that point?
I can't tell you, but by the end of the first year, I was 220,000 in profit.
Wow.
But I was like, this is great. This is an amazing amount of money. But I'm now working from 6 o'clock in the morning till 11 o'clock at night again. Yeah, it wasn't I didn't leave my 9 to 5 to work longer hours. Right. And never see my kids again. Yeah. And so I was a bit like, I love all of this money, but I would rather not do it if it means I never have any time to spend it or see the kids. Right. So I knew I needed to find a different way. I'd put my prices up 3 times. People were coming to me, handing me 10 grand and going, I want to work with you. And I was like, I can't. I've only got so much time in the day. I've got no more time. And then I heard somebody on a podcast like this one talking about passive income and recurring revenue. And they were arguing over whether it existed. And I love a good argument. So I was like, oh, having a good listen to that. And I realized that if it was true, if it existed, this was what I needed to do. This was my business model. So I decided to put half of the money that I had earned in the first year into learning, so that this time I didn't have to do it for free. And I learned all different types of recurring revenue models, from cryptocurrency to drop shipping, courses, all the things. And then I started to slowly introduce things into my business. Like I got rid of a few quite quickly, like cryptocurrency. I knew it was not going to be the thing for me. Yeah. But I put in I did my first course and then my first membership and workshops and all these different things. And at the end of the first year, like I told you, I was making 220,000, but I was working around 80 hours a week. By the end of the second year, I was working 30 hours a month and I was earning over $1 million in profit.
Wow.
And I was like, oh, this is what I need to teach people. And that's how it all started.
Oh my goodness.
6 years later, here we are, 16 million pounds later. And yeah.
That is amazing. That is amazing. Now, okay, one of the things that pops into my mind, like you started this 7 years ago. You mentioned you were reading a lot of books and doing a lot of stuff for free before you made the money and was able to invest back into yourself, right? So who were the go-to people, right, that you actually learned from at the beginning stages, just out of curiosity?
Back then, it was people like Dean Graziosi, people like... God, who was it back then? It was like Amy Porterfield had just started on the Sea Marie Folio. There was a lot of people I was watching, just seeing what they were doing. I'm a bit of a funnel hacker. So I would look at what they were doing going, okay, what are they doing from the beginning? And I'd go and sign up to their stuff and go, oh, okay, so this is what you do. Because I had no one to teach me like marketing. So I had to just learn from watching.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. I love that. Now you've got this empire that you've built from scratch, right? Tell us a little bit about what that looks like and what you actually do for your clients and the kind of results some of them have got, because I know you've done amazing things.
Yeah, it's been crazy. So I have about 5,000 clients a year going into different programs. And our biggest program is called One to Many. And that's where we teach people basically how to do what I did, how to start making passive income, but not necessarily from like a business idea, but from the knowledge they have in their head. Because I've had clients that do courses and memberships on dating, on hula hooping, on, random things like how to teach photography to children or assertiveness. Sometimes it's business stuff like how to do LinkedIn or, all of those things. But a lot of the time it isn't. It's just what they know, because people don't realize that their knowledge isn't common knowledge. They think everyone knows what they know, but they don't. You can sell the knowledge you already have. So my main program is teaching people to do that, either as a side hustle, or they might already have a 7-figure business, but it's taking all their time. And, they want to have more of a passive income, recurring revenue stream going on in the background. So that's the main thing I do. And now I also teach strategy. So we have a new company called That Strategy Co, where it has accreditation, CPD accreditations for things like how to become a Facebook ads manager or a launch strategist, all of those kind of things, so that people can get into the online world.
Oh, I love that. And so one thing that I really picked up on what you said, right? It doesn't matter what kind of interest you have, what kind of business you want to start. You mentioned hula hooping and several other kind of random things.
Yeah.
As long as you got the strategy, and this is what you tell or, teach people and coach people on, as long as you have the right strategy, you can turn anything into a business. Is that right?
It's a blueprint at the end of the day. Right. When you see people doing well online, they're just following a blueprint. And let me give you an example. So Lauren is a really good example. She was one of my first clients. She came to me and she wanted a membership, but she didn't really know what she wanted a membership on. And so I said, well, what kind of things do you like? And she was like, well, I like the theatre. And I was like, well, if you like the theatre, other people like the theatre, you can make a membership, because people want to be around people that like the same things as them. Yeah. So she started this membership, really low cost. I think it started out at £10 a month or something like that. And they would talk about, what shows are coming up and what seats are the best and all of those kind of things. And her membership has made her 4 million in even during the pandemic when the theatres were closed.
How is that possible?
No. So these things work. It doesn't have to be just about business. It can be. Danny Wallace is a really good example of someone that does have a business. So she came to me, she was a singer. She was doing gigs all over the place. And then obviously lockdown happened, all her gigs disappeared, she couldn't earn money, she was living in her rented accommodation and she didn't know what to do. And so I said, okay, well, what do you know? And she said, well, I know how to speak on a stage. I've been singing on a stage since I was young. I know how to get the attention of an audience. I was like, well, teach that then. And so she started, she went through One to Many and she started learning how to do that, how to teach what she knows already. And very, very quickly, she made $500,000, was able to buy her own house, and now is doing even better than that. I think she's nearing $1 million. But, she teaches how to speak on stages because that's the thing she's good at. So everyone knows something.
Yes. And I love that. So what you're saying is that it doesn't matter what skill it is. You don't have to go and learn a new skill. No. Just learn to monetize what you already know.
Yeah, because you already know something, even if it's not a skill. For instance, I had a client that's been through divorce. She understands everything about divorce now because it was a really long, drawn-out divorce. So she helps people fill in the forms and all of the different things that you need to know if you're getting divorced. She's not a lawyer, but she's done it herself. So we're teaching things we know through experience.
Right. And what I love about you, I mean, there's so much stuff out there, right? On the internet. Do this and do that. And everyone's got a different method, which completely overwhelms everyone. And you're like, where do you start? But what I like about your method is you keep things simple. You mentioned this earlier. You're the simplifier. You simplify everything, the jargon, the strategies, everything, and keep it step by step that people can actually follow and actually progress and make moves and see results in, which it's freaking amazing how you do that.
Because I think that business actually isn't complicated. I think people make business complicated.
Yes, we're really good at that as human beings. I do it myself, right?
We don't need to.
I love that. I love that. Now, you got this challenge coming up. Tell us a little bit about that.
So I do it every year. We used to do it twice a year. Now we do it once a year. So this is the 12th time I've run it. Over 50,000 people have been through this free challenge.
Ooh.
It's crazy. And what I do is, if I'm honest, I tell people exactly what to do to make passive income. And lots of people said to me at the beginning, don't do that, because then people won't come into your course. But I don't believe that's true. I think you can give people all the knowledge so that if they can't afford it like I couldn't, they can go off and do it. Mm-hmm. And then they'll come back to work with you once they've made a bit of money.
Right.
And so that works. Not everybody who does the challenge comes to work with me in one-to-many. Some do because they want to quicken the process. But some people don't. They come back later, and that's cool with me. It's all about integrity for me. Yes. So it's a 4-day challenge, and I teach people step by step what they need to do to get that stuff out their head that they know. And lots of them come to this challenge and go, well, I don't know anything. And then they go after the first day and they've got like lists of things they know how to do and turn it into money, basically.
Oh, I love it. So you really pull it out of them.
Yeah.
And so it's almost like you're not doing it for them, but you are the catalyst to help them start thinking about all the skills, the experiences that they have gained throughout their journey in life. And it's just as simple as doing X, Y, and Z.
Yeah. And once they've got that, it's then, okay, how do you monetize it? How do you grow an audience online? How do you launch things? I just teach them it all in the challenge.
Oh, I love that. I love that. And then, oh my goodness. So this challenge, how long is this challenge for?
So it's 4 days. So I generally talk to you for about half an hour in the morning, or you can do it in the evening and watch on catch up if you're not in the same time zone. And then after that half an hour, you then go and do a task that I will give you, and you come back with the task and you post it in the group. And we do that for 4 days. And if you complete all 4 tasks, there are prizes to be won, like designer bags and things like that, because I believe in rewarding hard work.
Oh my goodness. Okay. Yes. Okay. This is another thing. The rewards that you give is mind blowing, right? Like I've never seen anyone else do it. It's so worthwhile. Like it's insane. Like, where did that idea come from? I love how that you incentivize people to keep moving forward into progressing. But where did that idea come from? Is it because you like these items yourself?
It is that. I really like gamification. I like it when I get rewarded for doing things. And so, I saw that, for instance, when I was younger and I went to Weight Watchers, the person that lost the most amount of weight would get a prize. And so it would make me work harder. And it's exactly the same. I'm like, I'm more likely to do the things you tell me to do if I win something at the end. I'm competitive. And so I thought, well, what do people want? Well, I know what I want. I don't normally go and buy myself things that are expensive, but I love it if people gift me them. Mm-hmm. And so, when I couldn't afford much, that's what I wanted. Now I can buy my own, but then I would love to win things. And so I thought, hey, why not give some of the things that I would have wanted back then?
I love it. I love it. Can I mention one of the items I received from you as well?
Of course you can.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. So guys, I couldn't believe it. I went away. I was traveling and I came home and received a package. I opened it up and I couldn't believe my eyes. It was a gift from Tiffany's. Guys, it was a bracelet, jewelry from Tiffany's. And I'm like, oh my goodness, how did I become one of those people that receive a Tiffany's gift through the post? Like, when did that happen? It was amazing, right? So,
I love a bit of Tiffany's.
Right? Who doesn't?
Exactly.
So I love that. I love that. Oh my goodness. Okay. So if people like, okay, I need to learn more about Lisa. I want to join this challenge, right? What is the process? What do they have to do? Because I know there is going to be a link somewhere, and we will put in that in the show notes, right? But what is it that they need to do?
Yeah, so the first thing to do is go straight to the show notes and click on the link there. If you can't find it there, if you go to my Instagram, at Lisa Johnson Strategist, it will be there. Let me know that, just ask me, say, hey, I heard you on Kay's podcast. I would love to get the link, and I will give it to you there.
Absolutely. Fantastic, guys. And make sure you do go ahead and sign up for this challenge, right? And it's completely free, right, Lisa?
Yeah, I do it all for free.
Completely free, because this is going to be mind-blowing. It's going to be the first step to really get you to think about what it is you want to do. If you're looking to, leave your 9-to-5 job or to scale the business that you have now, this is where you need to start. And let me tell you, Lisa will just be completely raw and real with you, right? There's no fluff. It's just straight to the point, right? I know it. I've been in her community for so long, and I was blown away. Right, blown away completely. And I knew, Lisa had to be the person that I learned from myself. And she is one of my coaches, guys. Right, if I haven't mentioned this already before, she is one of my coaches. And I know how awesome she is. And I met her in November in London and totally blown away. And I was like, yep, I'm on it. I'm doing this. I'm working with you. Because I was so impressed. That's amazing. Now, Lisa, when it does come to business, I mean, you know so much about it, all different aspects. What would you say are the 3 main key points when it comes to business that people maybe are not sure of or they forget about, but is actually really vital for business?
Yeah, I think the first thing is profit follows passion. Profit follows passion. Like, the thing that you're most passionate about is likely to make you the most money. So lots of people go and look for a gap in the market. Instead of doing that, what do you love? Like, if you can find that thing you love that gets you up every day, you're going to make money from it, because your enthusiasm will show other people like how amazing it is, and they will want to come and buy from you. So, always think passion first. The second thing is stay in integrity. Like, I'm a massive believer that there are lots of different ways to make money. Like, I believe there are a million ways to make £1 million. But not all of them are good ways. Not all of them will allow you to be able to sleep at night. And it's really vital that you choose ethical ways of making money. There are a lot of ways out there that aren't ethical, pyramid schemes and so on, that will make you money, but you won't feel like a good person. So, like, stick to having good values. And I think the third thing is to just start. There's so many people that have these ideas of amazing businesses they want to do, and they try and be perfect. Like, when things are different, when things are perfect, when I have it all sorted out, then I'm going to go and do it. Instead of doing that, do it messy and do it as you go along. Like, it's not going to be perfect the first time you do anything. Just do it messy. Progress over perfection is going to be your best way, because you will learn as you do things. And if you're learning, you've not really failed at anything. There's no such thing. You're just kind of seeing what worked, seeing what didn't, and you do it better the next time. There is nobody that you know who is successful that didn't fail first.
Oh, I love it. Yeah, and that's absolutely true. I don't know how many times I have failed and made mistakes and learned from it. And the harder you fall, the bigger the lesson, right? Which could be amazing for your business. Absolutely. So, guys, Lisa, oh my goodness, this was an awesome conversation. I absolutely love this and the challenge. I can't wait for it at all, guys. Again, go to the show notes. The links are all there. Make sure you sign up for the free challenge. Join, because I guarantee you will not regret it. The only thing you will regret if you don't actually show up, right? If you don't click on the link and don't show up, you will actually regret that. Lisa, thank you so much for coming to the show. So many golden nuggets in such a short amount of time.
I knew I had a small amount of time. I wanted to talk faster. But thank you for having me. It's been brilliant to be here.
Thank you. Thank you for coming to the show. Thanks for listening to Make Your Mark podcast at www.makeyourmarkpodcast.com. Make sure you hit that subscribe button so you get this and every other episode that comes out. We have lots of great stuff coming, so make sure you hit subscribe so you don't miss it. And thank you in advance for all the reviews and comments. I appreciate it so much, and I look forward to serving you in next week's episode.